Hey everybody, Jeremy's here again. Yes, that's right. Another video. I am just crapping them out like a crazy person. Lots of stuff is going on. You're going to get hit with lots of interesting videos this week. But this is the video I've been wanting to do for a couple of days now. Things have finally calmed down a little bit and I can give it to you. This is going to be my video where I basically just recap Power Morphicon from, boy, it's been over a week now. And I'm not going to go into super detail on every little thing. If you want to hear all the details, check out NoPinkSpandex.com. Check out our podcast. We should have an episode coming out very soon where we discuss more of the intricacies of Power Morphicon itself and our specific tour that we took on Wednesday, where we went to a lot of different locations that were shot for Power Rangers. I'm going to go into that a little bit, but that's for the detail. Here, I'm just going to be talking more about my personal experience, some of the stuff I bought, and all that good stuff. So for those of you who don't know, the first Power Morphicon was in 2007. It was run by my friend Maureen, and since then, for every subsequent Power Morphicon, it's been run by Scott Zellner. And PMC 1 was a very unique thing. When Maureen still had control of it. It was a much more intimate is what I'm trying to say, intimate environment. But yeah, so it was a very weird thing because back then the actors didn't really understand that they had fans. So there were only, a few hundred people in attendance for a pretty decent number of guests. So it was just a very odd but good experience where the panels were small. You got to talk to everybody, tons more autographs, cheaper prices. It was just a very fun little thing. It was at a different location. It was at the Wilshire Grand Hotel, which doesn't even exist anymore. So it's just hard to put into words how much fun that experience was. And don't get me wrong, I still love it today. It's still a lot of fun, but it's just a very different animal. It's more of a, convention that happens every other year, so you know what to expect. The guests, most of them have been through this before, so it's just a much bigger thing than it used to be. So it's hard to get that old environment. And out of the 5 PMCs that have happened, I've been to 4 of them. I did skip PMC 3, but I would say that, since I can't judge that one since I wasn't there, and since number 1 was its own special thing, out of PMC 2, 4, and 5, the 5 that just happened was my favorite, by far. Lots of great stuff. And the thing that I've said before, and I'll echo it here, I've said it in the podcast, my friends have said it, is that if you can afford it, I think you need to approach big events like a PMC as more than just a con. For me, it's about a vacation in California. Like, I'm going out to California, it costs a pretty penny, and I don't want to bank all of my excitement on a convention. I'm sure the convention's going to be fine. The convention was fine, but I want more. So I went out on Tuesday, hung out with my friends. I was in Alhambra, which is a very interesting city, very fun city. It reminded me more of the area I live in now, where it's decently sized, but it's not too big. And then on Wednesday, we took our tour. We went to Vasquez Rocks, which is a famous place that they shoot tons of sci-fi stuff there, especially Power Rangers, the area outside the command center, because the rocks, they're jagged and they look like they could pass off as an alien planet. Amazing climbing up there. Definitely recommend it. Doesn't cost you anything, just the gas to get there. Kennethon Park, not as great as I was hoping it would be. With the drought in California, it was very brown. It was hard to find too many locations that you can point to and say, you know what, I remember that from the show. I could, by the water, you could see where Tommy and Kimberly kissed. You could see where Billy was bitten by a fish. But other than that, a park can change in 20 years very easily, unlike, say, rocks or structures, So the park wasn't the best, but it was still a fun stop. We also went to the school, the Ulysses S. Grant High School, which is the exterior where they always shot, the beginning of episodes of MMPR when you would see outside Angel Grove High. That's the exterior they used. Again, there's not a lot there. You're really literally just looking at the exterior. That's all they showed in the show. But it was a cool little thing, a place to take some pictures. And the biggest one was the House of the Book. I don't really want to go into the details of how we got there, or how everything went, because it was a very hush-hush sort of thing. But I will say that it's just a very interesting place, like it's on the side of a cliff. It's quite a ways to get there, winding roads. And, we've said it before, if you haven't heard it yet. The fun fact is at the outside of the building. It has a very odd looking design on it, as you know, for the power chamber / command center. And that's just a map of Israel. I think that's a really cool thing. But inside, it really is. It's called the House of the Book because it is a library. There are a lot of round rooms that are just full of books. It's it's one of those things where it's hard for me nowadays to go back and feel like a kid. To really have that sort of unbelievable joy without any of that jaded adultness in your head. But when we turned the corner and we saw the building for the first time, I have to admit that I got choked up, man. Like it really did something to me. It was just a very amazing experience. And it's funny because, since it's a library, I'm sure there's kids going in there all the time like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the House of the Book. I have to go read some books. And like, they might not even have any idea that for people like us, it's just a huge, huge deal. It's just a very cool place. So we went to 4 locations on Wednesday, in maybe 8 to 10 hours, including we had to make a trip to the airport. So it was quite a drive for me. I'm not used to driving in LA traffic. I'm from Southwest Michigan. There's not a lot here. So it was a culture shock, but it was a fun day. One of the best days I've ever had, and definitely worth it coming out early. Thursday was just a lot of chilling, a lot of preparation for the convention, and meeting up with some friends. Here's a hot tip for you guys. Go to Japantown if you're going to be in the Pasadena, whatever area for Power Morphicon. It's not too much of a drive, maybe a half hour, 40 minutes. Japantown has a lot of cool shops. In fact, I'll show you one thing. We went to a store that was a lot of Japanese tokusatsu stuff, a lot of Gundam stuff, the more adult stuff, so to speak, with, it's the kids stuff, so really, but that sort of genre. And I bought a lot of books. Check this out. Yeah, like I got like this. Boom. Got me a Hurricaneer book. Very cool old book. See, what they're doing is they just had a lot of old books, and they were like, 3 for $10. So they're used, but they're cool books, man. Like I got the Hurricaneer book. Got a cool Ninja book that has stickers from all the other teams. What else do I got? I got a DK book, complete form DK book. And I just like all these really cool pictures, And I stocked up on as many as I could get, and fit in my bag reasonably. A cool Magi Ranger book, Magi Ranger / Kabuki book for their movies. Lots of cool stuff in there. And I tried to stray more towards the older ones that had like old series I liked, like Bokenger right there and Kabuto. See more Bokenger. This time got some Deno on it, got some Deno mats. And yes, these are books for children. They're just silly little picture books. But you know what? I really dig it. And this time Geki Ranger was starting, so you got some cool Geki Ranger stuff in there. And look, it's freaking Beast Wars! Beast Wars! Or like, here's a more recent one. Here's a sweet Juoja book. Very cool. Very cool stuff in there. But yeah, lots of cool stuff at that bookstore. I'll say some of their stuff was a little overpriced, some of the toys. But it's just a fun environment to see this stuff out there. And it was kind of like a string of shops where this shop is all about this sort of stuff. And then there's a shop right next door that's more about the anime stuff. And there's a shop over here that's about cards. And it was just all in this same little area. And I really dug that, getting to go there with my friends and just check out this stuff. And we didn't buy a lot of stuff, but it was still a lot of fun. And also, an interesting thing about Japantown is they had a library not library. Why did I say library? Because I was thinking about the House of the Book. They had another bookstore that was just specifically, you know, Japanese books almost, you know, exclusively. So you got a lot of stuff that's more current. You know, like here's the most current magazine. You know, got the new Commoner X-Aid that's coming out in a month or two. The video game guy. I bought this book because it was a. It's just more like a catalog that they release every once in a while, sort of stuff. So it's a lot of the more current toys. And if, by the way, if you haven't seen this, let me just peep this, Holmes. It is a sort of mecha, but it's completely composed of Toy Story. Like, what is that? All those Toy Story things. That's insane, right? So you might have seen this before. But yeah, so I mean, and this is a couple years old. Monster Attack Team. It's not released very often, but it's a book published in English. My friend Seamus told me about this. That, you know, it's lots of English articles, but it's all about Toku stuff, you know, and Toku legends. And so, yeah, I mean, at the time they were talking about Wizard and Kyoryuger as the new hot series. So, again, a little dated, but another cool, fun book. And, you know, just Japantown is one of those places you can totally get lost in there with your friends. It's got such a cool atmosphere. Like, they had a wishing tree where you could put your little wishes on there. You know, you get a little slip of paper and you write what you want to happen, and then you tie it on the tree. And, you know, you read some of the wishes, and some of them are just amazing. You know, you've got high schoolers who want, you know, the girl to notice them. But you've got more important things, you know. You even have, like, little kids that, oh my gosh, the saddest one. It was just this kid that basically said, I wish I had a dog, and I pretend every day that I do. And I'm just like, oh, I feel so bad for you, kid. But, you know, you got your wish, and maybe one day your parents will get you that dog. And then there were a lot of shops to eat as well. And look what I got for all you fans out there. I have a bag of Jew Oger candy. Haven't opened it yet. It looks like on the back there's 10 cards to collect. Maybe I'll get a card in the bag. But I'm going to try a little piece of Jew Oger candy for you. Just because. And yes, I know what you're thinking. How dare this candy not be cube-shaped? Oh wait, here's my sticker. I got sticker number 7 with tiger, elephant, and eagle together. Yay! Yeah, so I got a little sticker in there. And then, so there's a bag of candy. They all have slightly different designs on them. I'm going to try this one that actually has the mecha on it. Give that a little taste. Well, that's just a standard piece of grape hard candy. That's pretty good. I don't want to talk to you while I'm sucking on that, so that'd be rude. But yeah, that's a cool thing, you know, got a little bag of candy. Very nice. Also, now for those of you who don't know, I may have mentioned this in the past, I'm what you would call a super picky eater. I believe my friend told me that you're actually called a super taster, is the technical term for it. But I'm one of those guys that there's just so much I do not eat. So, and I really just despise trying new foods. I eat a lot of bland stuff. Kind of like, you know, the diet of a child, really, unfortunately. So what I have here is a natural yeast bread chocolate pastry roll, a soft and pleasantly sweet bread, each baked with the natural goodness of brown rice yeast, which may sound very simple, but for me it's still new, so I'm apprehensive. Oh, so there's a little D+ little bread man on the bottom. Not sure what he's all about. Let's try this. Okay. It's an interesting taste. It is definitely sweet. It's not as sweet as I thought it would be. I'm also the type of person who very rarely eats like brown or like wheat bread or anything along those lines. Like I really like the white bread. Again, like a child. Love me some Wonder Bread. But, yeah, I'll try a little bit more of that later. That's not as bad as I'm cautiously optimistic about finishing that. But yes, this is the Jeremy Eats Food video, apparently. What else did I do? Another cool thing. Oh, the photo booth. Yes, that's what I want to talk about. So there was this Japanese photo booth where it was just very confusing. My friend, she's like, I know what to do. I've done this before in Japan. She did not know what to do. She did not. Because it was just, it looked like there were two sets of two booths, and you weren't sure what to do. And we put the money in, and we're like, okay, let's take the picture. Nothing's happening. Let's run over to this booth. Oh, wait, no, this one wants to take the picture. Okay, let's all quickly take the picture. And then what do? Nothing's happening. Do we run over to this booth? Do we run to that booth? And we're running back and forth each booth. And then we're going over here and it's like pick a background. And then we run over to the third booth and it's like draw on it. And then we run over to the fourth booth and it's like put some text in it and all this and blah, 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 blah. And it was just very intense. But we ended up getting two of these. This is mine. Look, like the It Girl, supermodel. Woohoo! Aha! Kawaii! Kawaii as F. But yeah, for those who don't know, that's me, Lisa, and Seamus from NPS. Our friend Gemma, she's a mermaid, by the way, and our friend Jake, who, if you follow the Power Rangers community, he is known as Database Ranger. He's been out there for a long time. People know him. But so yeah, we just did that, and that was just a fun, weird thing you can do in Japantown. You know, there was a Hello Kitty store, which Lisa spent lots of time in. Yes. Your secret's out, Lisa. People know you love Hello Kitty. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, so by the way, Japan, explain this to me. Why do you have this obsession with this character that is basically just a sad, crying egg? Like, I see this guy what does the egg do? Like, what is up with the egg guy? I don't know. In the less interesting news, I went to Toys R Us, because, you know, it's hard to find a Toys R Us anywhere else, right? But no, I mean, I got these. I got Game Face and Ninja, the really cleverly named Ninja. Two figures that I actually have not been able to find in my area for whatever reason. So it was cool to see them on the shelf. They complete, like, every single figure that's available right now from Dino Charge, I have now. Insane, yes. Reason to prosecute me, probably. But there's that. And I know there's more to come, because we have, like, the Silver Ranger and the Talon Ranger and all that stuff. But yeah, so I got those. That was a very cool addition. Not something I was expecting to get. Oh, also the t-shirt I'm wearing right now. Let's talk about that. For those of you who don't know, Affirmative is a shirt line that was started within the last year or so by David Yost. That's my boy Billy. And he just has lots of really cool shirts. He has this one, which is my favorite. He has one that's just the big Triceratops, of course, plain logo shirt. He has lots of cool shirts, and I've been meaning to buy one from him. He didn't have my size in Lexington earlier this year, but I hit him up again at PMC. He had my shirt, bought it right away. Love that man. David Yost is a friggin' treasure, in case you don't know. Just throwing that out there. Other things. At actual PMC itself, they had a photo booth. I know it's a photo booth that also was at San Diego Comic-Con. But for those, again, who don't know, the posters for the new MMPR movie, they have just, like, the face of the new Ranger, and it's in their color with, like, a silhouette of the lightning bolt. So I went up there and I took one. You know, there's me, Red Ranger, as I do. And there's me, Yellow Ranger, as I do. Black. Blue. And unfortunately, I seem to have misplaced my Pink Ranger photo, but I did take it. I thought I gave it to Seamus. Maybe he gave it back to me. I can't remember. Nobody can seem to find it. But thankfully, they do send a PDF of it to your email. So I do have a copy of it, so I'm going to use them online. But the actual physical one, unfortunately, seems to be lost to the ages. Perhaps it's in my Airbnb right now. Shucks. But yeah, there was that, and I went to the Boom Studios booth. Love the Boom comic. By the way, for those of you who aren't reading it, quick sidebar: the Boom MMPR comic is fantastic. Kyle Higgins does an amazing job with it. It really is an addition to the Power Rangers lore. As far as the MMPR Pink miniseries, I'm not as big of a fan of it. I think it does devolve a little bit into fanficky territory. I think it's a little too heavy with the dialogue as opposed to just showing us the action. So I still think it could turn it around. I still think it could be a good thing. It's a good concept at the very least. But right now, I am not digging it not nearly as much as I am the main comic. But the main comic especially, I mean, seriously, I can't stress this enough. If you are not reading it already, please start reading it now. It is worth your time. But I went to their booth and I bought some covers. Because I just, for those who don't know, these friggin' covers, I just love so many of them. This one is an MMPR Pink one for the second issue, but I just love this design right here. Very, very cool cover. This is an issue of number 3 of the MMPR comic. This is just a really cool variant. The artist was there signing it, so I bought one. I just love that look on Zach's face. Look how sassy Zach is. So sassy. Ew. This is the Power Morphicon exclusive cover that you could only get at PMC. This is for issue 5 of the regular series. Very cool. This is another one that it was just a comic cover that I liked. And it's from a specific comic store called The Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach, California. It's number 1 of MMPR Pink. But again, I love the whole put the Pink Ranger in the center sort of thing. Still keep the whole team there, but you know, give her the shine. And while I wasn't planning to ever get this, it was there. It was available at a decent price, very decent price. So yes, I did add to the collection. Number 0, I got the White Ranger one. And you all know I don't like the White Ranger, not a fan, but I wanted to get it to finish the collection. I don't have the really rare one, the Red Ranger with the shield, but you know, that's another cool piece there, you know. So I added 5 nice variants to my collection. And I think that's all I have for you merchandise-wise. The convention itself, I think the setup was much better than it has been in the past. All the autographs were on the right side, and they were in order by season. All the toys were on the left side. I don't think the toy selection was quite as good as it's been in the past, but there was still lots of cool stuff, lots of cool vendors. I got to see some old friends like JC, who does the props. I got to talk to him for a while. I saw the Bandai booth. You know, I got the exclusive toys. There was a decent little art show. I wish it would have been bigger, but you know, it was still cool for what it was. They even had an area with all the Imaginext toys that was like cordoned off for kids. So if parents had like younger kids that they needed to watch, that was a good place to put them. The panel rooms. One criticism I will say is, like, you have 3 panel rooms, and I get it. You got a big one for big events. You got a smaller one for smaller events, and I do think sometimes the bigger events were scheduled in the smaller room. But, you know, it happens sometimes. My only main criticism would be the 3rd room. Because the 3rd room we used it for some interviews, which I really appreciate, to all the people at the convention, especially Peter, great friend, great guy, who let us do some interviews in that room. But for the most part, it was scheduled to be a room to air old episodes of Power Rangers. Now, far be it from me to pass judgment, but if you are flying across the country, no matter where you're coming from, or even if you're a local, if you're coming to a Power Rangers convention where you have all these actors there, all this merchandise, all these unique experiences, why in God's name would you want to sit down and watch episodes of Power Rangers in just a big dark room? Like, I'm sorry, but you probably have DVD sets. You probably have a Netflix subscription. You can do that at any time, on any day, the other 360 whatever days of the year that you are at home. So why do it at a convention? It just seems like a waste to me. So I hope in the future they, you know, make better use of that 3rd room. But again, I think in the long run, that's a minor complaint. As far as NPS goes, we got lots of interviews in. I don't want to say all the names because, you know, that's special stuff for later. The ones we will say we did, because some of the information's already out there, we did talk to Brad Hawkins and Mike Hollander together. We've talked to them in the past, but getting them to sit down together for an interview was just tons and tons of fun. Like, they play off each other so well. They're just very funny, very jokey. It's disappointing we haven't gotten Sarah Brown to anything, but, you know, maybe in the future. And the other one that was big for me is, if you know me, you know I'm a big fan of Lightspeed Rescue. And we sat down all three members of the Mitchell family. Yes, Dana, Ryan, Captain Mitchell. We got all three of the actors to sit down together for an interview. And it's just amazing. Like, I mean, they just have all such great energy. Ron Roget, my boy! Ron Roget is my homie. I love that guy. I said it before, like, he is just the funny, like weirdo uncle you wish was in your family, you know, just a fun, jovial dude, always up for a good time. He doesn't even like to charge money for his autograph. He's like, I'm going to donate to charity, you know? I met him at the last PMC. Still just the coolest dude in the world. Awesome to talk to him. Awesome to talk to all the Mitchells together. Just a great time. And again, those are just, you know, 5 of the people we interviewed, and we interviewed many more. I think there was actually, I counted, I want to say we interviewed 17 people total. So, and those interviews, we're not just going to just, you know, throw it down and throw it out there for you. It's one of those things where it's going to be compilations for bigger projects, so you're going to get pieces here and there. But just so you know, there's lots of really cool stuff coming up from NPS. And the other big thing at the panel, of course, I don't remember if we talked about this before, but if I talked about it before here, but the Ninja Steel reveal. It was cool talking to the Dino Charge cast, but we all know how it goes with, you know, how it goes with everybody's like, oh, where's the new team? Because it's happened the last 2 PMCs. Where's the new team? And you probably know by now, but for me, just the reaction when Peter came out, when Yoshi's younger brother was announced as the new Blue Ranger, I genuinely, like, was welling up. Like, it took me a half second to realize, but when he screamed Peter, I figured it out. Like, I mean, I don't feel like I'm the most emotional guy in the world. I'm sure other people would say different, but, like, the raw emotion there was just unfriggin' believable. Just such an amazing, amazing time that I will not forget ever. But, you know, that's it. I don't want to really babble anymore about that. I think, overall, just like I said, it was just a fantastic experience. Great to catch up with friends. You know, some people I saw earlier this year at Lexington, some people I haven't seen in years. There's some people that I literally haven't seen since the first PMC. So to catch up with them, it's always a great time. Always, you know, it's like we last saw each other yesterday, you know? Just lots of great times. Lots of great work was done. Lots of great personal experiences. If you haven't gone to a PMC before, assuming, you know, everything goes cool in the gang and there's another one in 2018, PMC 6, I mean, go for it. Absolutely go for it. It is worth your time. It is worth your money. But like I said before, you may just, you know, don't just go for the convention. Have a really nice, long, full vacation if you can. And you know what? That's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed my pile of books, my children's toys, my delicious candy, my sweet roll with Bread Man. Hope you enjoyed all this. I hope I didn't bore you too much. But yeah, so as always, like this video if you liked it. Comment on the video if you have a comment. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed before. Share this video with any of your friends if you think they're big fans of Power Rangers, Toku, Sentai, Kamen Rider, comic books, food, candy, nonsense like this, my general ramblings. Share it with them if you haven't shared it with them before. I will be back very soon with some more interesting exclusive toy reviews. And that's going to be it. And as I say every time, and by every time I only mean the last couple of times and I'm still not fully behind it, I'm Jeremy, I'm Captain Subpar, and I am going to be King of the Geeks. See, I feel like I embraced it that time. I feel like I was a little more behind it. I don't know. What do you think?